Hi everyone, it's Sunday the 5th of May today, and I'm a little bit irritable today, and I've noticed I'm always irritable on Sundays, and I really don't know why. And I mean, I've noticed it because of doing these vlogs. I've noticed that it's always Sundays on the days where I don't feel as good emotionally, you know, I feel either irritated or annoyed or whatever. And I was thinking it was because of going for a walk every morning was making me feel really great, and I don't do that on Sundays. But actually today I didn't go swimming and I went for a walk instead, and I still feel anxious and irritable. And I think maybe it's something to do with the weekend, like every day is kind of the same for me anyway. I take a little bit of time off in the weekend. I do a little bit less work than I do on weekdays, but I don't know if it's just like what's on TV and stuff. Like there's certain things, I don't know, there must be certain things that are the same on weekdays, and then Saturday it's not so bad because it's the first day, it's different, and then Sunday, the second day, everything feels different. I start getting irritated and annoyed, or so, I really don't know what it is. And then Monday I kind of get back into it. Maybe it's just that Sunday thing of knowing that it's another week. That's another thing. I think maybe psychologically it's another week has passed and I want to achieve more or something, and I feel like it's another week and I feel like I don't have anything to show for it, maybe. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe, yeah. I think that might be... That's the only thing I can think of that makes sense, actually. That's just come to me. Yeah, psychologically, I think of it as the end of the week. And it feels like the end of the week, and I don't feel like I've achieved anything, and tomorrow is yet another week, and I don't know. Anyway, what I actually wanted to talk about today was the idea of something I worry about, and I get a lot of people asking me, not for myself, but kind of for the younger generation, and maybe I'm not in touch as much, and not everybody is like the cliche I'm about to describe, but a lot of people are always asking me, where do you get your ideas from? More so with my writing and stuff, like when I was at uni and making short films and stuff, and writing short stories and things as well. Most of you won't be familiar with any of that because none of that's transferred to YouTube just yet, although I do plan to do some like short kind of stuff on YouTube in the future. But that's a whole other subject. But anyway, creative ideas in general, people ask me a lot, where do you get your ideas from? And it's always impossible for most creative people to answer, I think, because ideas just kind of come to you. But I think something very important is just the idea that you spend time thinking about stuff, and it's not that you actually, and more to the point, here's the point, you don't actually sit down and go, I'm going to think about stuff for half an hour. You find yourself thinking about stuff when you do other things. So I've just been washing up, and I thought this is what I'll talk about today, because I was washing up and I was thinking about stuff, and I had the idea for this vlog, which was, about having ideas while washing up and stuff. So it's kind of self-referential in a weird way. But what I think some people maybe struggle with in the modern environment is we live more and more in this like it's the word I'm thinking of isn't society, it's a culture. We live more and more in a culture of distraction. They say it's like the information age and stuff, but it's not really the information age, it's the distraction age, it's the entertainment age. It's everything has to be entertaining all the time. And so washing up's the first example. A lot of people have dishwashers, and I don't think you have the same kind of zen meditative state loading a dishwasher for like 2 minutes than you do when you're washing up and it takes 10 minutes and you're cleaning each dish individually and you're thinking about stuff in your mind. And some people, I guess even before the internet and stuff, a lot of people have like the radio on or the TV on when they're doing stuff like that. So, they take menial tasks and listen to something while they're doing it to make it entertaining and stuff. But then I don't know any creative people who do that. Because if you're listening to something, you're not thinking. And it's the same, like you'd think it would be the opposite, but actually every creative person I know doesn't go around with music in their ears all the time, if at all. I don't. And other writers I know don't. I don't think, no. And the only people I know who, my friends who do go around listening to music all the time. I know a couple of artists who walk around listening to music, but most people I know who walk around listening to music aren't creative types. And I do think there's a link. I think it's because that's another time when I go, like I was saying, I go for a walk every morning. I think when I go for a walk, I don't go for a walk and stick some music in and listen to the music and zone out and chill out or whatever. I go for a walk and I'm thinking about stuff. And what else? Yeah, and it's the same with car journeys and bus journeys and train journeys. You'll see kids playing handheld, most kids playing like Game Boys and stuff. I'm showing my age. DS's, it's all DS's now, isn't it? I even have one myself, and there's still Game Boy is the word that still comes to mind instead of DS. It just shows how old I am. But yeah, if you're doing that, you're not looking out the window and seeing stuff. And that's, to me, that's like my whole experience of journeys in my childhood was like looking out the window and seeing all the different fields and locations and, animals and weather and, and thinking about, seeing the whole world and everything. And if you're just staring at a computer game the whole time, you miss all of that, Obviously, I play a lot of computer games, but when I'm at home, but when you're out and about, and that's like, it's a perfect opportunity. Travelling to a new place or something, that's a perfect opportunity for new information and new, experiences and stuff that you've never seen before, and you're staring at something that you could experience anywhere. And that's a side topic. I get quite annoyed when some people, in defence of computer games, go, "Oh, computer games have give you loads of particular experiences that you wouldn't experience in real life." And it's like, yep, but they're not real. They're not real experiences. They're experiences that have been invented by someone, and it's fine. But it's exactly the same as what you get from. Well, it's not exactly the same, but it's similar to what you get from books and what you get from films. But it's good to have a balanced life. You've got to have the real stuff as well. Anyway, that's a whole other subject. But again, it's like, if you don't want to be creative and you don't want to have ideas and that's not part of your life, then fine, do whatever you want. But yeah, I think that's the main thing, is that don't be plugged in all the time. Have something in your daily routine that you're not listening to something or chatting to someone or watching something or playing a computer game, or have something where you've got space to think, where there isn't any distractions apart from the actual thing you're doing. And then you might find that ideas come to you because you're giving them space to. Because so many people ask me, "Oh, where do your ideas come from?" And what they do, their method that is failing them, So something in the air. I think it's a tiny little insect. Must have got in. But yeah, people I know who ask me that, the method that seems to be failing them is they go, oh, I've tried really hard to think of ideas, which means they sit down for 5 minutes every day with a piece of paper and sit there and try and think for 5 minutes and nothing comes to them. And then it's good to do that as well. It's good to brainstorm as well, by the way. But what I find is often, having done that, having set seeds in my mind, they kind of grow in your subconscious, and then suddenly you get a piece of fruit when you least expect it when you're doing something else. And there's actually, I should look that up properly. I was watching a documentary where they were talking about that, and that is the thing of the idea suddenly coming to you when you're doing something else. Is everybody's familiar with that, I think, and there is actually scientific research behind that now and reasoning as to why that happens, which is really interesting. But yeah, I've gone a little bit over. I meant to finish about 2 minutes ago. But yeah, I think if you try and think of ideas, unplug. You know, if you constantly have headphones in listening to music, or you know, you're walking somewhere and your first thought is to ring up your friend and talk to them. I see people do that all the time, and I'm like, why? You know, when I'm out walking, like I see people get off the bus and start walking home and instantly take out their phone and ring someone. Like they can't bear to be in their own company. And yeah, so number one, they often say the number one habit of creative people is being a loner, or at least spending time on your own. And I really think that includes literally on your own and not virtually with other people as well. Like, not necessarily talking and communicating with friends, but like even listening to the radio or listening to the TV doesn't count as being alone with your thoughts. And listening to music doesn't count as being alone, unless it's more kind of instrumental or whatever that, you know, doesn't have words. Being alone with your thoughts is the only way to have an active mind. That sounds a bit extreme, but anyway, something to think about. You get the general gist. And if you let me know if you have a good time, a good activity that you do that helps you think, like whether you do it when you're cleaning, or whether you know, like hoovering or something, or washing the dishes, or do you walk to school or uni or whatever, or work every day, or do you when do you have time to think, or are you in dire need of finding a time to think? Let me know, I'd be very interested, and I will see you later.